Aries, July's energy is saying it's time to stop shrinking your voice, start trusting your vision, and reclaim the life you're meant to live. Aries, we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna look at the general transits, and then I'm going to open up the chart for you, so buckle up. It's gonna be a quick and direct and to the point ride. Mercury starts off in Leo in your 5th house, and this is a bold energy. It's expressive, it's creative, it's leadership type of energy. And so you're very much focused in on enjoying your life at the beginning of this month. You want to be expressive, you want to communicate out your ideas, you want to be the leader, and you want to be the leader of like the fun club, and putting a lot of effort and energy into really simply enjoying life and just living it to the fullest. And then on the 18th, Mercury retrogrades. And of course, we all know Mercury retrograde means slowdowns and delays and miscommunications. But for you specifically, it's time to go inward and start doing some reflecting. Reflect on the way you express yourself. Reflect on your creative endeavors. Are you really unleashing yourself fully? Are you being your most expressive and creative self? If you are, that's great, Aries, because you will be super rewarded in this reality. But if you're not, then maybe you can level up your creativity a little bit. It's also a time where you might be going a little bit inward and reflecting on who you're dating. The 5th house involves romance, maybe reflecting on your children and their life paths because the 5th house involves children, and maybe also reflecting on your own entrepreneurial journey because the 5th house does involve entrepreneurship if that's what you're doing in this lifetime. Ultimately, it's a really powerful time to really take a step back and ask yourself how you are expressing, how you are projecting, and if you're standing in your authenticity and really showing up as your true self. So then what about love and money, Aries? Well, Venus starts off in Taurus, but then on the 4th moves right into Gemini, so we'll start there. This is a time where your words are very much fueled by love. It's powerful manifesting energy, specifically with the voice and your thoughts. So use the power of your mind and the power of your voice to manifest what it is you truly desire, which means be aware of the words that you speak this entire month, Aries. It's very important. This is also a time where you are very interested perhaps in learning something new, a new skill set that will grow your bank account, because Venus is also the energy of money here in your 3rd house of intellect and learning and studying and communication. This is also a time where you might really be drawn to people from a very visceral level. It's like you're connecting perhaps with like-minded people, and you could maybe even like start to have a little crush on somebody simply from the intellectual like kind of perspective. It's that type of energy. You could also be connecting, Aries, with people from your past, maybe old flings, old childhood romances, or young adult life romances. And lastly, it's a time where you might really decide to fuel love into your community or your neighborhood in some way. Aries, have we met yet? If not, I am Lindsay, and I'm here to transform as many lives as possible. And that typically involves me helping people gain an awareness of who they are from an energetic perspective through energy healing work, chakra cleansing, through subconscious reprogramming, and even astrology. So Aries, if you're enjoying this, do me a solid and hit the subscribe button. Aries, Mars has got you moving and grooving in Virgo in your 6th house all month long. You have so much drive and determination to find efficiencies and effectiveness and productivity in your routines. You are more focused and determined and driven than ever before in your work routine. You are focused in your home life routine, and you are very physically focused in your health routines as well. It's a very powerful time this entire month to really find effective routines for you at work, find ones and create routines that work well for you at home, and also maybe revamp your workout, exercise, diet, kind of energetic routine in that way too, because Mars is really ready for you to feel whole, to feel healed, to feel really good and really efficient in your day-to-day life, so you can bring back some time into your daily life, basically get into flow state and become way more productive in a much faster time, so you can actually enjoy more of your life. All right, Aries, we're not going to talk Jupiter here because there is a Jupiter for all signs video linked in the description box below, but just know that Jupiter did enter into Cancer last month, and Jupiter will stay for an entire year. On the 10th of the month, Aries, there is a full moon happening in Capricorn in your 10th house, and this full moon is bringing an energy of maturity, responsibility, emotional intelligence to your workplace, to your 10th house of career, or the business that you own, or even your social reputation out in the world. So the moon is really asking you to get right with yourself. It's time to let go of any of like those childish little tendencies, your inconsistencies, maybe your petty type of energy, so that you can make progress in your career. It could also be that you're switching careers, maybe you're getting promoted at this time, maybe you're entering into an entirely new industry at this time, maybe you're ending your career and retiring, ending your career and launching your business, there's so many opportunities, but ultimately something's coming to fruition and changing in your career house. Aries, then on the 13th, we've got big bad Saturn retrograding in Aries until September, where he then retrogrades into Pisces and stays retrograde for a couple of more months. So for the first half of the month, you're like marching forward, you're building out your dream life, you're really focused, you're motivated, you're like, I am the pioneer, I'm the leader of my life, I'm the captain of my ship type of energy. You're really going for it. And then on the 13th, it's like, slow down a little. It's time to take a little bit of a step back. You might feel a little bit less motivated than you've been. That's okay. It's not time to like recreate the wheel or start a new project or push yourself onto a new life path. It's really a time to like reflect on what you've been doing up until this point. Have things been working out for you? What has, what hasn't? You know, this first house is all about I am. It's who you are. It's who you tell yourself you are. It's who you show up as in front of other people. It's how consistent you are showing up in the same energy in front of many different people, and it's ultimately how others perceive you. And so it's really a good time to like take stock of all of that and figure out like what's working for you and perhaps what still needs to change over the course of the next few months, because once again the energy is retrograde for a couple of months, so there's no rush with this energy. It's basically just like a slow down so we don't burn out, but it doesn't mean you can't still take small aligned action. It's just not going to be tons of like bursted energy. Aries, the interesting part about July is that the outer planets are making moves. Uranus enters Gemini on the 6th of this month for the first time in 84 years, since 1941. So we have to understand like what this means. This is very much a collective energy. Everybody is going to feel it. There is going to be a shift in the way society runs. Now, let's not doom and gloom. I don't doom and gloom because I know the power of my mind and the power of my thoughts and my speech. So I'm not going to doom and gloom you, Aries. What I will say is this: Uranus in the highest vibration is innovation, invention, individuality, uniqueness, being your own self, but also serving the collective. It is in the highest vibration, the dismantling of things, specifically systems and structures that no longer serve us as a whole, as a collective, and the rebuilding and reconstructing of things that work for us better. With this energy in Gemini specifically, think about what the energy of Gemini is. It's learning, it's studying, it's communicating. So I do believe personally that from a collective perspective, we're going to see a lot of changes in the education system. That's already been happening. We are going to see changes as it relates to the way that we think. I think a lot more people are going to realize we program our minds. I don't think we're computers and we're programming ourselves like a computer. We are quantum computers. We are computers of light, right? The entire universe is light. And so once you figure that out, you realize you can reprogram yourself. And I think a lot of people are really going to get into that. I think we're going to be way more into like telepathy and different ways to communicate outside just our voices, like aura to aura type vibes. Now, because this is playing out for you in your third house of Gemini, you can expect to completely rewire your brain if you wanted to, starting this month, and you could be a completely different person, totally reprogramming yourself to the positive and realizing that you do create your reality. You might be interested in learning many different new things, specifically maybe around technology or AI, and you might decide to communicate out in a different way as well, whether you are practicing like remote viewing, telepathy with your partner. Maybe you're practicing speaking from your heart, right? I used to speak up here. It was so annoying. I trained myself to speak from an authentic place, from my heart. You can too, and it sounds much nicer and it draws people in. So that's what I have for you for Uranus. I'm super excited. This is a big shift and we're gonna have to just see how it plays out. Now it gets even more interesting because Neptune is also retrograding on the 5th in Aries in conjunction with Saturn. This is like your I am presence. Neptune is taking the rose-colored glasses off. Things are going to be a little bit harsher feeling, and maybe like you're like, oh wait, this is really the reality I'm living in. I don't realize this, but it's a good time for you to kind of take stock. This is a perfect energy to look at your reality and then go inward and kind of reflect on the paradigm you've been creating, on the self-image you've been creating. If they match, you're really good, you're doing great, keep it up. If they don't match, this is a perfect time to start to bridge that gap. Keep working on your internal energy, your I am, your, focusing on how you're speaking to yourself, focus on how you are showing up energetically speaking, how you're showing up physically speaking, how you're showing up projecting yourself, so that people do perceive you in the way that you want. This is very much like you being able to build your own personal brand. So rather than having people kind of dictate that for you, you are, letting people know this is who I am. And this is a good time to really take stock of that. And finally, there's a new moon happening on the 24th in Leo. So once again, lots of fifth house energy this month for you, really focused on creativity, self-expression, focused on, being entertaining and kind of this optimistic flair, and children and romance and entrepreneurship. So if you have desires in any of that arena, launch them out with a new moon. Tell God, Source, Universe, Creator exactly what it is you desire, what you insist upon, what you require, and allow the energy to start working for you. All right, Aries, let's get into kind of the week by week now. Last month I took you week by week. It was really nicely displayed and the planets were aligning in that way. But this month it's a little bit more kind of expansive. So I'm just going to kind of go through the dates that you should really be paying attention to. And remember, Aries, that if you look down in the right-hand corner, you'll see the calendar moving. So when I talk about that, that's where you can look. And we will get going. Starting off with all month long, Jupiter in Cancer down here, sextiling Mars in Virgo. Now, I talked about this last month, and I didn't realize this was kind of playing out all month long for all of us in the collective. So this is big, bold action. And for you, Aries, this big, bold action is taking place in your daily work and health routines. It's kind of like in your day-to-day life. Maybe you're kind of focused in on taking new physical action, creating a new routine, a better routine, a more effective and efficient routine. And because of that, you are expanding in your home life. Maybe you start to work from home at this time or over this month. Maybe you're making moves in your work routine to have a better work and home life balance. It's that type of a vibe, and it's playing out in the background all month long. And it's a really powerful time for you to expand out your life and expand out your family and really bring some abundance in there by taking some physical action. Now, it could also be that you maybe are starting like a family business or something because you have this Jupiter abundance and expansion energy in your house of your home and family, the land, farming, herbs, agriculture, restaurants, nurturing people, nourishing people, and you've got Mars in this like daily action. So maybe you're like starting a family business or really expanding it out. So that's playing out for you all month long in the background. And let's start off with it July 1st through the 4th. You've got Venus in Taurus. Oops. Conjunct Uranus in Taurus as well. And if you watch the chart down at the bottom, you'll kind of see it moving and grooving, and you see them kind of going together. Now, the split happens right here when Venus enters on the 5th into Gemini, and Uranus still hasn't entered. But then on the 6th, Uranus is in Gemini, and that's a huge transit we talked about at the beginning of the video. So I'm just going to call this conjunction happening really through about the 10th of the month. You can watch them dance together, 8, 9, 10. And now you see that Venus is kind of moving away from Uranus down here at the bottom of the chart. They're kind of disconnecting, right? Because Venus is a much faster moving planet, because Venus is a personal planet and Uranus is an outer planet. So we'll get back to kind of where they're nice and conjunct. And conjunct just means that they're close together. Their energies are merging and amplifying. So with this energy, Venus, the energy of love and money, Uranus, the energy of freedom, independence, individuality. It's a very expansive and abundant energy. It's positive, it's optimistic, it's freeing. And Aries, I didn't mention, but I have you here, I have my computer here, and have my notes here. So I'll do my best to look at you. But it's like you can't hold me down type of energy. And it's really powerful for you because it's happening in your second house of money. So Venus and Uranus in your house of money, powerful in and of itself, because Venus is the energy of money. Uranus is the energy of independence. So maybe, receiving more money at this time, putting yourself out there and really showcasing your gifts and talents at this time. And it's also the energy of Uranus dismantling systems that do not work for you. So in the second house, you might be looking at your money and saying, okay, like this income stream is working for me, this one isn't. This is what I love to do, and I want to monetize this gift, and I want to let this side job go, right? It's that type of energy. And then from the 6th, around the 6th to the 10th, we talked about it just a second ago, but now this energy enters into your third house. So you're done kind of expanding and dismantling money. And now here in the third house, it's really the energy of you dismantling mental statements about yourself, I am statements, old programs, old stories that are running in the background so that you can free yourself from kind of this limiting belief mental construct that you've been playing over and over again. Venus is going to help you fuel your mind with self-love, and Uranus is going to help you break out of those old paradigms and those old stories. Remember, Aries, you're going to change your internal self-image to change your external reality. So if you want help doing that, and if you're ready to really power up, I'm helping tons of women inside the Cosmic Collective really understand who they are at an energetic level and then learn how to use their energy to start to reprogram their minds. That's what we're doing. And this is the energy for it. So if you're interested, you can check out the description box below and I'll link more information about my community as well as how to join. But if you are really ready to change your life, like this is the time to do it. Really step into that new frequency. Okay, so let's back up on the chart a little bit. On the 6th of July, Venus is still down here. Oops, sorry. Oh, sorry, I didn't even talk about this. Okay, so you've still got this conjunction, but then also, and it kind of goes really beautifully back to what I was just saying. You've got this trine to Pluto up in Aquarius. So you're really changing your thought process. You're changing how you communicate, how you speak out. And there's going to be transformation that takes place with your social networks and how people are interacting with you. So you change your thought process, you start to speak very nicely to yourself, and all of a sudden you're attracting benefactors and allies. All of a sudden you're attracting the right friends, the people that want to support you and help you make your dreams come true. And it's going to be very harmonious. So you might, I would say, like lose a couple of friends at this time, maybe, but you don't really ever lose somebody. You transcend into higher frequencies and they either match your energy and they stay in your world or they don't. And that's on them, right? So could be that you're seeing shifts in like groups and organizations you spend time in. You could be seeing shifts in your friend group. You could be meeting up with somebody who really wants to support you because now you are communicating out your value instead of playing this like sad story over and over in your mind, this limiting story. So super exciting. And that's happening through about the 10th of the month. So very exciting. It's going to be another great month. And I'm never going to doom and gloom you or fill you with negative energy anyway, because I know my thoughts create my reality and I know yours do too. So I want to give you the best outcome, right? I want to give you the highest vibration possible. All right, moving on, July 10th through the 18th, we've got Venus. Once again, Venus is like the star of the show this month. Venus down here in Gemini. Oh boy, that's a bad circle. Venus in Gemini, sextile Mercury up here in Leo. Okay, so remember sextiles are like, they're a harmonious aspect. The door is open, but you have to take action to step through. And if you hung out with me last month, you know I just love a Venus Mercury sextile because when you are manifesting, you need your thoughts and your speech, Mercury energy, in alignment with your emotions, Venus energy, and you need to take some positive aligned action, even small action toward your goals, right? So you've got 3 parts of the 4-part manifesting formula right here for about, I don't know, 8 days until about the 18th. Let me take you through the chart. Just watch the circles down, or watch the circles on the screen. They're just moving right along so nicely together, friends. You know, on the 18th, Mercury retrograde. So really that's kind of how it breaks, is Mercury retrogrades. And we talked about that at the beginning of the show. Okay, so here you are expressing yourself, Mercury in Leo, in a very bold way, in a creative way, in a dramatic flair, in like a happy way, an optimistic way. You might be receiving messages about children. You might be receiving creative ideas around your business. You might be connecting with new romantic partners if you're single and that's what you're trying to do. And these romantic partners could be from your childhood. Somebody growing up reaches out and they have a crush on you. It could be that you took a short trip, Venus here in the 3rd house, and you met up with somebody who's a potential romantic match. It could be that because you are so loving yourself and feeding yourself really positive energy, you are able to fully express yourself and you're not afraid to send out what it is you desire. You're not afraid to start talking about the life that you're creating. I mean, this is such a beautiful energy and it could play out in so many ways. You could also get some like ideas, like I talked about business ideas, but it comes even stronger here because you've got this like love and money energy in your third house of your thoughts. Maybe you're writing marketing material, promoting material, you're communicating with love behind your words. And because of that, people are like, I want to work with you. I want to work for you. I want to buy what you're selling. So tap into this energy. Once again, it goes through the 18th of the month. Woo! How exciting, Aries. What a great month. I just love being here with you and doing what I do and just loving it. Okay. Ooh, let's move that back here. All right, let's get back to it. So then we've got to go back to, we're on the 10th again. Once again, we're talking Venus. Venus here in your third house, squaring up now with Mars here in your sixth house. So by the way, this is going to be through the end of the month. Let's watch it on the, if you want to watch the wheel move, I'm moving it, and Venus and Mars are just marching along so nicely together, aren't they? Great. Great. Okay, so a square, you know, in traditional, if I was just a normal astrologer, I would say, oh no, you're gonna have tension in your relationships and blah blah blah. But I view squares as a trigger, as a catalyst for your growth and expansion. So with Venus and Mars, yeah, there might be a little bit of a power struggle in a relationship. You might be frustrated or there might be tension around your money. But all of it for you to grow and expand, right? So once again, you've got Mars in this house of your day-to-day life. This is your daily routines. This is you taking action in your work. This is you taking action for your health as well. This is like your health house. And it's your efficiencies. It's like understanding and bending and using time and getting into flow state. Now, Venus is here in your third house of your intellect, your mind, your subconscious mind, your communication, your studying, your learning. And the way I see this kind of playing out is probably like an internal struggle between you and you. And Aries, I like to tell my members of the Cosmic Collective, the ladies that are changing their lives every single day with my help, I like to tell them and remind them that winners do not resist themselves. Winners do not resist themselves. And so you are fueling your mind perhaps here with all the positive thoughts and you're like, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. But like maybe you're running up against roadblock in your day-to-day life. You're like, I know, like I really want to become XYZ this person. And then like when it comes to taking action, you're like, why am I not doing it? It's that type of annoyance. And it's like your own power struggle. And you're really struggling between the old version of you and the new version of you. And this is a normal oscillation everybody goes through. So decide what it is and fuel your mind with love. Do not let your mind waver. And then just start taking small action to get yourself into the new version and to solidify yourself there. Now, once again, this is going to be all month long, but it's really trying to push you out of an old cycle that you're stuck in. And the cycle really does involve like work. I have so many damn arrows. It really does involve like work, health, your day-to-day life. You're trying to change something up in your daily life and your mind is there. You're ready to do it. You're speaking nicely to yourself. And the only thing you need to do is just take a little bit of aligned action. Ask your higher self, Aries, tap into your higher self and say, higher self, what do I need to do to get closer to this goal? And whatever your higher self says, whatever you hear in your mind, maybe you see a bunch of synchronicities that are constantly telling you to do something, go do it. That's how you build the relationship with your higher self. That's how you build the faith and the trust and the connection and the respect with your higher self. And that's how you move your life forward. So use this square to your advantage to break free from a limiting belief or a stuck cycle that you've kind of been swirling around in perhaps for a while. Okay, how exciting. Geez, this month is going really quickly. There's not a ton like action-wise happening compared to last month was very busy. But let's keep going. So that happens from the 10th until the end of the month. And then we're going to bounce all the way to the new moon on the 24th. So let's get to the 24th. You'll see here you've got the sun and the moon conjunct. That's the new moon happening in Leo. And across the way is Pluto in opposition. Now, once again, oppositions, this is happening through the end of the month. Actually, let me double check. I want to make sure because I didn't mark it in my notes. let's see where we're going. Oh, just a quick 1 day thing. Okay. On the day of the new moon, and this is powerful information to know, and I didn't talk about it in the earlier part of the general transits. So this new moon is asking you to declare something out, a new manifestation as it relates to your life's pleasures, the fifth house, as it relates to romance if you're single, as it relates to children and a family, or your children if you have children, as it relates to your creative self-expression and being bold and brave to say what it is you want to say, and as it relates to your entrepreneurial journey or your business if you have one. Okay, so blast out a new manifestation. Remember, Mercury at this point is retrograde, so be clear with it. And Pluto is asking you to really emotionally let something go so that this manifestation comes to life. This is an internal power struggle between transforming your life and holding on to an old emotion that is keeping you held back. Okay. And here, this transformation is going to take place in your authenticity. So here you've got to, in this fifth house, let go of something that is not filling you up in your day-to-day life so that you can step into a more authentic role up here and start to attract the right people and start to build out your life by attracting benefactors and allies that want to support your dreams coming true. It's really that simple. Don't overcomplicate it. You know there's something in your life that's not bringing you complete joy, and it's time to let it go so that you can connect with the right people and really stand in your authenticity. And authenticity is one of the greatest energies in this reality that will be rewarded. Creativity, authenticity, integrity, honesty, kindness, open-mindedness, love, those are all gratitude, those are all really high vibrational, powerful energies that will reward, like the universe, God, source, universe, creator will reward you for them. Okay, two more things we've got to discuss. And then I'm setting you free to go create your reality. Remember, Aries, that you create your reality. So these are energetic potentials in the sky, but you've got to take action. All right, so we've got on the 25th, let me move the calendar 1 day so you can see a little bit better. On the 25th, you've got the sun. I mean, if the new moon across from Pluto wasn't enough, now you've got the sun here too. And it's staying till the end of the month. So the new moon isn't your only chance on the 24th. You've got through the end of the month to really figure this out. The sun is how you shine your brightest, and the sun right here is in Leo. And so with this transit, it's all about like optimism. It's about expression. It's about entertainment and happiness and joy and fulfillment. And it's across the sky once again from Pluto. And so it's like, is there something like you're watering yourself down, Aries? That's how I'm going to take this transit for everybody. You're watering yourself down when it comes to your creativity, when it comes to your self-expression, when it comes to how you show up. And if you were to simply stop watering yourself down, once again, you'd become more authentic and you would start to attract all the right people to you. And by the way, the 11th house is also money you earn from your job. So the more authentic you are, the more money you're going to earn. That's just an obvious thing to say. So really, sit with yourself in this energy. It's going to be maybe emotional. And it might feel like you don't have the confidence yet to really be who you want to be, but I promise you, you do. You just have to practice being that person, right? For years, I watched astrology videos. My sister even reminded me, she goes, sis, you know what? Guess what? And I go, what? She goes, you made it. And I said, what are you talking about, sis? She said, you are finally on YouTube doing what you've been watching people do for years. And you told me 10 years ago that you were going to do this. And yeah, I struggled with the confidence, but finally I cultivated it. And now here I am sharing with you your astrology. So if I can do it, Aries, so can you, my friend. And once again, if you need help, I'm more than willing to do that. Join the Cosmic Collective. It's a membership. You get tons of spiritual lessons the second you walk inside, over a year's worth. You get access to my private Discord. You get spiritual chats twice a month and a group energy healing once a month with me. It's so powerful. And the women inside are marching toward their best lives. So I'm just so happy to be able to host that community and help as many people as I can. Okay, finally, we're going to end off the month, the 31st, of course, why not? If that was not enough for you, on the very last day of July, you will see that we have got a Mercury retrograde cazimi happening in your fifth house. Now, a cazimi is when it appears that a planet enters into the heart of the sun. And so it's like super amplification of the energy. Now, we had a Mercury retrograde cazimi in Aries on March 24th. So you might want to go back to March 24th if you keep a journal, or if you can think back in your brain, or maybe look at your social media, what you were posting about, and you can see maybe like, did you have a big aha moment? And if you did, it might be connected to this big aha moment, because that's what's happening with this Mercury retrograde Kazemi. It's like in the mix of this Mercury retrograde, kind of smack dab in the middle, you have this big moment of clarity, and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is a missing puzzle piece. And for you, once again, it is about your life's pleasures, what you really enjoy, what lights you up inside, how you express yourself, how you are using your creative gifts and talents, your romance, and your children. All right, Aries, that's what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, do all the things, help a girl out, hit the notification bell if you're really that into it. Make sure to check me out on TikTok at Lindsay with Love, and make sure to check out the description box if you're interested in hanging out with me in any capacity, or if you want an astrology report written by